What up? It's your boy T-Bro here, reaction day. We're going to continue with some more WrestleMania related video. We are looking at the changes of WrestleMania video, whether it's last minute changes to WrestleMania event at the moment, plans that got injury that ruins WrestleMania plans that got ruined by injury, or now we will check out changes in the storyline at WrestleMania as well too. And we look at 10 biggest WrestleMania face and heel turns in WWE history though. You know, a lot of good moments we had, like a face turn and a heel turn happening in wrestling in general, but always be a big thing when it's happening at the biggest shows, the greatest stages of them all. So without further ado, let's check it out.
Turning a wrestler from good to bad, or vice versa, is a great way to change up their character and add a new wrinkle to the on-screen product. And what better place to express a new attitude than on the grandest stage of them all? Clue's kind of in the name. Plenty of performers have swapped allegiances at the Showcase of the Immortals over the years. So let's get straight into 5 times baddies went good and 5 times heroes turned to the dark side. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 biggest WrestleMania heel and face turns. Join us. Number 10, Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19.
Ooh.
We are starting off with a subtle one here because WWE don't do subtlety very often, and it's important that we cherish it when they do. WrestleMania 19 is considered...
I don't know why this is so choppy right now. Give me a second. I'm about to change here we go. Yeah, I'm not sure why it was so choppy. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's keep going.
By many to be the best Mania ever that didn't take place in 2001. To cap off a night of excellent action, fans were treated to a first-claim dream match as Brock Lesnar squared off against Kurt Angle for the Olympians WWE title. This fantastic match was sadly overshadowed by the Beast nearly doing himself in by botching a shooting star press, which might be why a lot lot of people missed what happened after the bell rang.
I forgot. Yeah, he turned face afterwards because when he returned from his surgery and hurt his neck and everything, he was a face. So yeah, I forgot he turned face that night. So yeah.
The heelish Angle actually embraced the new champion, giving him a big hug and raising his arm up for the crowd to see. Unfortunately, WWE's cameras didn't really capture this moment, probably because everybody was still in shock at how Lesnar was still breathing.
Right.
This moment of sportsmanship hinted at Angle's return from surgery later that year. When these two had their rematch at SummerSlam, Angle was the good guy and Brock the evil heel. Not a spectacle of a face turn, but an effective one nonetheless.
Indeed.
Number 9, Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. At New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 10 event, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura had one of the matches of the year over the IWGP Intercontinental title. So when WWE decided to run this program back at WrestleMania 34 over the WWE title, fans got very excited. In hindsight though, they needn't have really bothered. Whether it was oddly paced, overhyped, or just not up to their usual standards, Nakamura vs Styles 2 just wasn't very interesting.
Wow.
It ended with Styles countering a Kinshasa to hit the Styles Clash for the win as the crowd went mild.
Damn.
At least things picked up a bit though when Knackers smashed AJ in the Knackers a few minutes later. After appearing to show his opponent respect, the King of Strong Style hit the Phenomenal One with a low blow before cementing his turn to the dark side with another vicious knee strike. It was a really well executed moment. Unfortunately though, it led to absolutely nout. Styles and Knackers...
Yeah, because one, back the rubber matches wasn't okay, and two, Shinsuke Hill run was so-so. Unless you were a serious Hill fan, that shit was so-so. Excuse me.
Nakamura feuded for another couple of months, and almost all of their matches ended in disappointments. After this seriously underwhelming rivalry, Nakamura wouldn't get a sniff of the world title ever again.
Right,
at least the turn was good, I guess. Number 8, Mike Tyson at WrestleMania 14. We're getting this one out of the way early because, well, Mike Tyson isn't really a wrestler. He's a boxer, and a pigeon breeder too, but now we're getting off topic. However, there is no denying just how important his presence was in the build-up to WrestleMania 14. The baddest man on the planet had aligned himself with D-Generation X ahead of leader HBK's WWE title defense against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I always said at the time, this is probably like really the only time that DX was really heel, between that and when they first got started. Because other than that, they seemed like twins to me because they was going against the Hart Foundation and Nation Domination more than anything else. And something a few faces like Ross at the time, but right here is when they really was the only time they was like really heel at the time to me. But let's keep going.
However, after Cold Stone won the match and the title, Michaels got all up in Tyson's face. Not a smart move, Sean. Not a smart move.
Yep.
In response, Iron Mike laid the former champion out, rejecting DX and turning good in the process.
Yep.
He then posed with Austin to close out the show on an iconic image. The boxing legend's involvement in Mania 14 brought tons of new eyes to the product, with some claiming that its success was mostly down to him. Regardless of whether that's true or not, there is no denying that Tyson added yet another layer of greatness to this event, and that him knocking out Michaels is a moment for the ages. Thank God he didn't bite his ear off. Number 7, Rick Martel at WrestleMania 5.
Oh, yeah,
the team
I
of
heard about this.
Strikeforce were one of the more popular babyface tandems during the golden era of WWE. Rick Martel and Tito Santana first teamed together in 1987 and would go on to capture the World Tag Team Championships from the Hart Foundation later that year. After a brief hiatus, the duo reunited at the 1989 Royal Rumble and were booked to face the Brainbusters at WrestleMania 5. Little did anyone know that this would be where the team would implode once and for all. During the contest, Santana accidentally hit his own partner with a flying forearm. Later, when Santana was reaching for the tag, Martel turned his back on the future El Matador, leaving him high and dry for Arn and Tully to...
Oh my God, they did him dirty with that little gimmick later on, the El Matador gimmick. Oh my God, poor Tito.
Pick the bones. Not only did this moment signal the breakup of a very popular act, but it also ushered in a new era for Martel as a single star. As the model, he would strut around like he owned the place and blind his opponents with his own trademark fragrance. The model was a fantastic character, and it could trace its beginnings back to this night in Trump Plaza. Number 6, Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7.
Yes.
Prior to WrestleMania 5, Randy Savage turned heel to set up the blockbuster main event of him versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. After 2 years as a baddie, accompanied by the brilliantly unhinged sensational Sherry, Savage went back to the light in another iconic moment. WrestleMania 7 was largely a bit crap, but one of the few highlights was the exceptional career versus career match between Savage and the Ultimate Warrior, in which the Macho King was defeated. And then, when he was at his lowest, Queen Sherry turned on Savage, viciously attacking him after the bell. And that made Miss Elizabeth furious. Upon witnessing this from her seat in the crowd, Elizabeth rushed the ring to rescue her former man from the evil Queen's attack. After saving the day, Liz reunited with Savage for the first time in over 2 years as the...
Like I say, RP all 4 because we lost we lost Miss Randy Savage, Sherry, Miss Elizabeth, and Ultimate Warrior. Wow.
Arena flooded with tears. In terms of soap opera high emotion, there haven't been many WWE moments more perfect than this. Getting Liz and Randy back together was a great way to take the edge off his tragic retirement and let fans cheer Savage again after a while of him being an absolute rotter. Number 5, Triple H at WrestleMania 15. WrestleMania 15 took fans of the D-Generation X stable.
Oh, this is when he turned on X-Pac. Oh, man.
On an emotional roller coaster. In the night's 8th bout, Triple H was battling the Corporation's Kane in a heated grudge match. Just when it looked like the monster had the day won, Chyna came out to turn on the baddies and rejoin DX. Well, at least that's what she wanted us to think. 2 matches later, and Shane McMahon was defending his European Championship against X-Pac. The challenger was facing overwhelming odds as Test and the Mean Street Posse kept interfering. But what's that on the horizon? It's Triple H and Chyna riding in to save their friend. But wait, what are you doing, Triple H? Triple H! In the swerviest swerve that ever swerved, bro, the game turned his back on X-Pac and DX to help Shane retain and side with the Corporation. Not only was this shocking in the moment, but it also paved the way for Hunter's rise to the main event that took place later that year. This was clearly a night for turns, as Big Show made his first of 67 face turns earlier in the show. Number 4,
first of 67 turns.
Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 6. Much like Savage would do for WrestleMania 5, Andre the Giant went bad to give Hulk Hogan someone to fight at WrestleMania 3. In their iconic battle, Andre came up short against the Hulkster but stayed as a villain for the next 3 years. At WrestleMania 6, Andre and Haku were defending their tag team championships as the Colossal Connection. Their opponents were Demolition, who were looking to win the tag team titles for the 3rd WrestleMania in a row. This was more of a handicap match than a tag, as Andre spent most of the time on the outside of the ring. This allowed Axe and Smash to pick up the win and end the heel's reign with the gold. Heenan, who was the Connection's manager, was not happy with how his humongous French client had performed. He chastised Andre after the bell, even going so far as to slap the Giant. That was a bad idea. Andre snapped and laid into Heenan and his partner as the crowd went bonkers. Yep. He then rode off into the sunset in the same way he came into WWE, as a beloved hero. Number 3, Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
Everybody talked.
The infamous double turn.
Talks about the double turn from WrestleMania 13 when Bret Hart and Steve Austin.
And key word, this was a double turn. Coming in, little certain folks trying to foster the connection, saying that Austin never turned face because he was a heel. He was a heel that fought the crowd cheer for. No, this was a double turn. Austin was a heel going to the match, and Bret was a face going to the match. After the match show, both had during the match and everything. Bret turned heel, Austin turned face. Let's keep that shit clear. You know what I'm saying? A little tired folks say, coming at me trying to say that Austin wasn't really didn't turn face at all. Yes, he did. That's the fuck he did. Like, for real. That really irks me when folks try to do that, because like they try to find some trap for some folks to believe that they cheer for a heel when we thought he was a face. No, he turned face. Like, let's clear it up. A lot of these folks clear it up. It's called a double turn for a reason. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I had a little rant right there, but a little tired of folks doing that. You know what I'm saying? Then I had some joker on video saying, because I said that you're supposed to root for the face and root for the heel. He said, no, that's not it. In the other case, we would have the double turn. No, we have the double turn because we have the turn for a reason. That's why, all right? The double turn happened, and that's when folks started cheering for Austin and hated Bret Hart. Well, kind of started happening with them hating Bret Hart when he snapped on the Royal before, but let's keep going. Sorry.
Austin left their match with the exact opposite alignments to what they had going in. But really, was Austin actually a heel before this match? Yeah, he was a loudmouthed, braggadocious a-hole, but fans still cheered him. And he was basically doing all the same stuff he would carry on doing as a babyface. What actually changed? Anyway, one thing we can say for sure is that Bret Hart was most definitely not a heel before this legendary no DQ submission match. He was the clean-cut poster boy of the WWE, who was getting severely riled up that the fans were choosing the Texas Rattlesnake over him. All of this was the perfect fuel for Bret to go bad. After Austin refused to tap out in a career-defining moment, Hart went ballistic, laying into his wounded opponent with reckless abandon. Calm down, Bret. We know he looks like Goldberg, but it's not actually him. Number 2, Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Arguably the greatest face turn in the history of WrestleMania happens by complete accident. The Rock vs. Hollywood Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 18 is notable because the fans completely hijacked it. Despite Hogan being an out-and-out bad guy, he hit The Rock's ambulance with a truck, for crying out loud. The fans in Toronto cheered him like he was a returning hero. And that's because he was. This was his first Mania match in almost a decade. After The Rock beat the Hulkster and the NWO came down to assault their former leader, plans were changed on the fly. Rock returned to the ring to save his opponent, who he helped fight off Hall and Nash. This solidified Hogan's new position as a babyface. Something
and to say Rock's status as a face too, because they was like kind of trying to turn on Rock when the match as well too, but they didn't do it yet, I should say.
That the crowd were more than happy to endorse. More than in any other form of entertainment, live or otherwise, the crowd is a huge part of pro wrestling. This moment proves that, as the trajectory of one wrestler's career was altered forever because of the reaction of one particular audience. That also means that when we complain about Hogan's subsequent WWE title reign, we've only got ourselves and Canada to blame. Number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania X7. To some, his face turn at 13 might have been a bit dubious, but there is no denying that Austin definitely turned heel at WrestleMania X7. He was facing
Sold
The
his
Rock
soul
for
to
the
the man.
WWE Championship and just couldn't put his opponent away. Desperate to win back his favorite shiny eagle,
he got
Austin
desperate.
did the unthinkable and sided with Satan himself.
Exactly.
He accepted help from Vince McMahon, who had made his way down to ringside during the match. With a McMahon-endorsed steel chair, Austin pummeled the people's snot out of The Rock and captured the title with Vincent K at his side. There is no denying that Austin turning heel was a huge moment and a big surprise, but was this the right time to do it? When The Rock was on his way to Hollywood and there was no credible babyface challengers for Stone Cold to face? Some go as far as to blame this turn for the decline in wrestling's popularity that followed over the next few years.
Yeah, about that. Excuse me a second. Yeah, it was surprising and shocking as well too, man. And whatever. But other than that, this was a good video to watch for sure, though. Seeing everything, though. At least another person confirmed that was a double turn between him and Brett. Anyway, other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I might add that video as my WrestleMania weekend video as well too. Probably gonna do it Friday or Saturday early. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.